Today on Midlife Conversations, I've got my new friend that I'm so excited to chat with today. Her name is Caroline. She's got a social media following for Shop with Caroline. She is hysterical. She's exactly my age. She's 51. So most of you listening, you are close to our age because you're here on Midlife Conversations. What I love about Caroline is that she is breaking the mold of what people think 50s and middle age is supposed to be. She, to me, is having so much fun. She's attractive. She's stylish. She's funny. She's kicking midlife in the butt, basically. She's breaking the mold for what everybody talks negative about midlife. Thank you so much for being here, Caroline, today. I can't wait to jump in and talk to you.
Oh my God. Honestly, I am honored to be here, to be honest with you. And just to have other like-minded women like this gets me so excited. It's just so motivating because I feel like there's so many of us out there that just don't realize it. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So I'm so appreciative. Thank you for allowing my voice on here. I'm really appreciative, really.
Well, let's start with, how did you even get online? How did you even start this account? What were you doing before, and what made you want to talk about midlife like this?
You know, what's really funny, genuinely, this was before COVID. So, it was literally like a year, maybe 6 months before COVID. And it was always just, I was a mom. I had worked in TV. I used to host, an entertainment show for a Spanish network. Like I was always in the entertainment. So I was always dressed. I mean, truthfully, I was always in the showbiz and, the lights, the camera, so I was always dressed up, always looking fabulous. So all of a sudden I find myself as a mom. I had kids at 38 and 40. So I was, I got married. We wanted to travel and live life and, wanted to have that foundation. So I definitely had kids later in life. And let me tell you something, no one prepares you, right? No one actually tells you the truth, and you never really understand what you're walking into. And it just was one of those really eye-opening situations where the most independent person all of a sudden found herself dependent. You know what I mean? And the real pivotal point was my dad being diagnosed with Alzheimer's, honestly, and my mom completely falling apart. And it was like watching the strongest person I had ever known not know how to do anything at 80 years old. And she was so scared, so oblivious to work. She didn't know where money was. She didn't know where anything was. And I'm like, gosh, it's been 50. Like, what do you mean you don't know? And honestly, I walked past that mirror that day and I honestly didn't recognize myself. I was disheveled. I wasn't dressed. I wasn't smiling. I wasn't my best self. And I was like, I don't have the money right now. Like, I actually don't know where things are. Like, I was kind of like, I just fell into that same exact trap. And I was like, wait a second. I was like, literally that day, I'm not joking. I looked in the mirror. People think I'm lying, but I was like, that's it. I was like, I'm bringing you back. Like, best version of you, like Caroline, that's smiling, that's positive, that's happy. I was like, why am I allowing all these outside circumstances, affect me? I have a choice. I can choose to be happy. I can choose to make an effort. I was like, I'm smart. Literally, I was like, I'm so smart. I'm capable. I was like, I can do hard things. I was like, why am I not figuring something out and making my own money and like knowing where things are and running the show? I was kind of like, why did I give away all my power? Why would I ever do that? So I literally was like, that's it. I'm going to honor my mom. Like, her demise is going to be my inspiration. And I was like, I am not going to allow all of her sacrifice to go wasted, because she sacrificed all of her happiness with a cheating husband. I love my dad. He was not a good husband. You know what I mean? This was tough. And growing up, I literally was like, she sacrificed all of her happiness to make sure that we were taken care of and that there was money, that old kind of culture, Latino, you protect your kids, you stay no matter what. And she really, at this age, I'm not joking, is still one of the unhappiest people I know. And I literally, till this day, look at her, I call her and I try to cheer her up, because she missed out on what we have the opportunity to have now. And she felt like she had no options. She felt like she couldn't leave because she didn't know how to make money. She didn't have her own money. She came to this country with him. And even though she made every decision, she bought every piece of real estate. She actually pushed him to make every good decision that he made for work. And she felt like she wasn't capable. She thought she wasn't smart. I was like, what? So
it's so sad, but unfortunately, I feel like this is a lot of women in our age group still. Like, this is
100%.
How do we get them to see this like whole possibility without them having to go through what you went through with your parents? Or because I see like something has to happen. It's like something happens and then we wake up and go, wait a minute, I don't want this next half of my life to be like this.
Yes. And you know what we said, and I know you know this too, it's like, you don't have to hit rock bottom, right? You're seeing women hitting rock bottom where the suicide rate for middle-aged women is the highest ever. Like, everyone's drinking, everyone's doing microshroom. I mean, everyone's on something because they can't deal. And you're kind of realizing, like, why can't you deal? It's because you feel like you don't have permission to feel anything. You don't have permission to go do what you want to do. And I'm like, there is a world where your kids are going to grow up. And this is like an eye-opening why I try to remind people every day, your kids, if you're doing your job, they're going to be independent, fabulous people who go on at 18 and live their lives. And then, so what are you doing for the next 20, 30, 40 years? Because I'm assuming you're living till 80, 90, if we're all healthy and lucky. And in that, you've got an opportunity to start your life completely over. Like you have the opportunity to start looking fabulous again. Like you can start, any hobby that you have can become a business now. Like my mom did not have that. We have the internet. We have every possibility to take anything we're doing at home that we love and make it into something of your own and have a little, for me, it's about not being independently dependent. I want to be actually independent, where if something happens to John, if something happens or my kids leave, I can always take care of myself. I have something of my own. And a lot of women don't. They don't have anything of their own.
So the thing that I find, because I come from fat loss and fitness, it was very image focused, right? Very image focused. And what I realized is that I would help women get fit or lose the weight or whatever, and they still weren't happy. And what I realized, and they would still find like the next thing that's moving, that's going to make them happy. Right. And what I realized is when they actually have purpose and excitement about something, that's actually what makes them happy. It's nothing to do with the appearance. It's like being lit up on fire about something.
Yes. So having purpose, right?
Yes.
Having purpose.
Yes. So what you're saying resonates so much, but here's what I see. And I don't know if you see this too. I feel like women typically are falling into two categories in midlife. And then there's somewhere in between that I want more of. I would love to see more. I feel like they're either fighting aging every step of the way, like trying to be 20 again, which by the way, you're not fooling anyone trying to be 20. Like
it's not going to happen. Yeah.
Like
that's like a vicious cycle. Yeah. Yes. I mean, you're never going to be happy because you're trying to attain something that doesn't exist.
Yes. So I either see that, and then it's like they hide their age, they're depressed, like just really battling it. And they're the ones that they've got to be spray tan when they die, because otherwise they're really fighting it. And then there's the ones that are the whole opposite, just like, well, who cares, and let it go. And just like,
you should accept it. You should, I love hearing that. You should just accept it. And I'm like, but why do I have to accept something that I have the power to control and I have the power to make better? And that's just you being lazy. Sorry.
Yeah, so talk to me about that, because that's what makes me love you online, because for those of you that haven't seen her yet, she'll literally look right in the camera and go, I'm 51. This is me in my bikini, boobs,
take it or leave it,
cellulite and all, take it or leave it. It's amazing. It's so rare, authentic. I love it.
Thank you so much. And coming from you, that is a real compliment, because I know, listen, it's about really accepting, and I'm always about improving. I'm with you. I like to work out. I like to feel good. I think it's important to be healthy from the inside out. I am all about making that effort. And for me, it's like, why would I ever just accept demise? Like for me, I'm never just going to give up on myself. That's just not an option to me. I'm like, my mom gave up on herself, and I saw where that led to, where she's sitting in a little room alone, bored out of her mind. No one visits, has no friends. Literally, it's the saddest thing, where I'm like, we have the power to create the life that we want. We have the power to look fabulous if we want. We have the power of like smiling, positivity. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I think women forget the power that they have, and they think, oh, just forget it, give up, just accept it. And it's like, because you don't want to do the work. Bottom line, you don't want to do the work, and it takes work. There is nothing easy about waking up every morning and saying, no matter what happens today, I'm going to choose happy, and I'm going to be the best version of myself. And that's literally a choice. Like my husband and I literally made a pact that every situation we get into, we want to look through the eyes of happiness. Like, let's choose happy in this situation, because it's easy to just be miserable all the time. It is.
It really
is easier.
Help us with like how you, like one thing that really stands out is how you tell women just to get up and get dressed every day. Like get up, get dressed, put your jewelry on, put your cute clothes on, whatever. Can you speak into that? Because there's a difference between how you do it and like, again, trying to be 20. That's not what you're doing.
Exactly. No,
I'm dressing how I want to dress because I can and I want to.
And it's about, we don't need permission. I feel like women and it's always about like, we feel like we need the permission from other people to, to look good or feel good or do what we want to do. And at the end of the day, getting up and getting dressed is exactly what you say. It is not about the Valentino outfit. It is not about getting compliments. It genuinely is, to me, getting up and getting dressed is the action that I tell my brain, I'm worth it. I'm going to make the effort. I'm going to stand on my own 2 feet. That's why it's important for me to stand on my feet. This is not about letting anyone else take the reins. This is you getting up and making that decision for yourself, and then making the effort, which helps with anxiety. It helps with stress because you're distracting yourself, right? That exercise is one of the greatest medicines there is. Gratitude, greatest medicine. Getting dressed and looking fabulous, is medicine. It is an oxygen mask that you're putting on first. At the end of the day, when you look fabulous and you look in that mirror, you walk out that door and you are more positive. You do feel better. You're more apt to, have a pep in your step, to be in a good mood. And I always say to my kids, like, we're sitting here yelling at our kids to be presentable, brush your teeth, fix your hair. And then you see moms look like a wreck at school.
It's so
and
true.
You're like, it's true. And I'm like, so what? You're supposed to lead by example. Like, what are you doing? You can't possibly feel good looking like shit. I'm sorry.
That's something we can take from our mom's generation. Like, I know when we were growing up, moms didn't go out with their messy bun and they didn't do that. My mom always had her lipstick matching her shoes. And
me too. The red lipstick. My mom would be like, it's self-first. She's like, I'm not dead. Why would I not be wearing my makeup? You know what I mean? I'd be like, you're so right. Like, why wouldn't we want to enjoy and look our best while we can? Like, one day you're going to regret looking back and not making the effort.
So I don't put together the style like you every day. I should, but I don't do
that
yet.
But
I will say I always do my hair and makeup like every day. That's the first thing.
You look gorgeous every day.
Thank you. I put my makeup on and people will go, why are you putting your makeup on? You're just going to go to the gym later. Because just for the same reason you said, putting my mask on first, making myself feel better. It's my form of self-care to do that. I feel better about myself when I do that.
And then you're a better person, right? You're a better mom. You're a better wife. You're in a better mood. Genuinely. This is just simple. Cause I'm always like, I'm not, this isn't brain surgery. I'm not trying to sell you a pill. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm selling you natural remedies that work for me, that honestly, I've noticed it's free and it does work, because at the end of the day, happiness is a mindset, and it's about you controlling your mindset, right?
Talk to us about the confidence part, because I think a lot of women would look at you and go, okay, well, but if I had your body, I could do that. If I had they still go into this comparison mode. So what do you want them to know?
Truthfully, I will say I have been through it all. Like, I understand that, we're always going to compare ourselves. There's always going to be someone who's skinnier, someone who looks better, of course, younger, better. There's always going to be that. But I realize, comparison, I know everyone says this, but it's true. It's a thief of joy, because you're spending so much time analyzing something else that you're missing out in that moment of the fun. And I realized I can't tell you how many times I didn't go in the swim with the pool with my kids. I can't tell you how many times I didn't jump in because I didn't want to show my cellulite at the hotel, or I didn't walk down the beach holding John's hand because I didn't want anyone on the beach to see that I had cellulite. And I could cry because that's how insecure I felt, that I thought everybody was staring at my cellulite. And I literally at 50, we all did it. We all think everyone's staring. And I had to I think there's something about turning 50, and I think our age and our wisdom and our experience, I kind of started to realize how selfish everybody is and how self-absorbed, and no one's really staring at you. No one cares. Like, everyone's thinking about themselves. They really don't care. And it was funny. I was like, am I really willing to miss out on some of the happiest moments and memories because of some dimples on my legs? And I was like, what if I just show it? If I just show it and I show it to everybody, will it just take away that fear? You know what I mean? I was kind of like, once you show it, talk away, say whatever you want. Like, what are you going to do? Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. And I literally got on camera. I literally showed all my cellulite. I was like, this is me. Even through menopause, where I gained 25 pounds, I just lost over the last 7 months. I lost about 20 pounds. So I'm finally feeling, I'm post-menopause. So I'm feeling better and I feel more like myself. But yes, I had the stomach bulge. I had the tire. My body was changing. I literally was like, what is happening to me? You don't feel like yourself. You don't look like yourself. It is scary. And you can honestly spiral. And getting to that place, knowing that, having some grace for yourself. And I know you're like, giving yourself grace, knowing that this is a season, and to just keep working at it. But the truth is, we're all going through the same. And I realize, if once you show it, it's like that one time that you do it, it makes it easier the next time. And I kind of realized once right?
Yeah. So you're absolutely right, because we all do that. We compare to our other people, we compare to our younger selves, we compare to and we think everyone's talking about us. But the truth of the matter is, if you scroll social media, and anyone listening, do this, if you scroll social media and you see somebody perfect body and photoshopped and filter and all, you don't want to follow them and and feel empowered. You're like, ew, it's like a turnoff, right?
Completely.
But I know when I see a woman that's being real and like, actually, that's empowering to me. And I want to learn more. I want to understand more.
I don't follow anybody that's using filters, that's using literally, like, I stopped all filters. No, it's not easy. It is hard that first day.
It's not easy. Same reason, because it distorts my own image of myself.
Yes. I even realized one day where I didn't put the filter on, and I was like, oh, I don't like, and I'm like, wait a second. And I was like, shit. And it's like, yes, it's the filter. And it's like, yes, you have to stop. It's like, once you get to that place where you realize we're all the same, Once you do it, once you get that filter off, it's like everything else, you do become more comfortable with it and you gain a different sense of confidence. Like there is a confidence about not giving a shit.
There was a turning point with me. I know you have teens like I have a almost 16-year-old, and she does a lot of my TikToks with me. And we were filming a TikTok and she said, I don't like the way I look. And she put a filter on. And when she did that, it was such an awareness for me.
Yeah.
Like, do I want my daughter thinking she's gorgeous? She's 16.
Gorgeous. I can't even imagine.
It really, really woke me up to that. And then I was with a bunch of girlfriends. We were out at a restaurant. They all took a picture and somebody's like, I don't like how I look. And one of the girls said, I'll fix it for all of us. And I said, and when they went to tag me, I said, I don't want to be tagged that. It's like one of those face apps where they change your whole face.
I hate that.
I think this is what is also destroying what we think midlife really is, because we're seeing a distorted view of it all the time. It's
exactly. It's not real. And
no.
I can't tell you how many messages I got thanking me for taking the filter off. Like, and I wasn't even using a crazy filter. Like I wasn't actually distorting my face, but everybody was like, my daughter's watching. Thank you. And we have to start figuring out a way to become comfortable in our own skin.
No, I want to be clear. That doesn't mean I'm letting my hair go gray or I'm not wearing makeup or using a ring light.
Too.
Like I will still use my ring light. I will still make sure the lighting is great. Like
me too. And I think makeup is a filter and I'm happy to use it, but it's a filter that I use. I have control over. I still look like myself. I just look like a little bit better version of myself. But I think some of these filters, they distort you to a point where you look like a supermodel. You know what I mean? It's like, that's scary. That's really scary.
And everyone's starting to look the same, big eyes, big lips, the same whatever was happening there. So what advice do you want? I want to ask you a bunch of questions about this for women listening, because the one that is feeling right now, like, okay, I'm hearing you, but where do I start? Like, what do you suggest they do first to start getting this confidence back? Because a lot of these women listening are in this beat up place of they don't feel enough. They feel like it's too late. What do you want them to know to start with?
Especially the empty nesters. There's a lot of, like I've had a lot of moms reach out being like, I never even, like when you say 18, they leave, what are you going to do? Everyone's scary. Like, and I'm like, you haven't been in the work. And I'm like, you haven't been in the workforce for 18 years. Technology has zoomed past you because I don't even know half the stuff. And it is really intimidating and scary. So for me, honestly, where I always say is to start small and easy. And I know you probably agree with this. It's like, if you overcomplicate it, it's like trying to do Mario makeup of Kim Kardashian. Like you're not going to do Mario's airbrush. Like you're never going to look like that. So of course it's going to be disappointing. You're never going to achieve it. And then you're going to give up because you say you can't, rather than taking those small, easy steps. Cause I'm all about like how Mel Robbins always says, the 5 minutes. It's like, you can do anything for 5 minutes. Once you get through the 5 minutes, the next 5. So for me, it's always about keeping things really short and simple. So I was like, for me, it was like, I was just going to get up and get dressed every day. Didn't have to be a whole crazy outfit. It was out of my pajamas into clean clothes. That's the start. You know what I mean? Just start small. And it was like,
so even if you're working at home, ladies, even if you're working at home.
COVID lockdown, I had sequins pants on. When I say the internet thought I was insane, and I was like, I literally couldn't stop laughing. I had a hat and sequins pants. And full lockdown, we didn't have food. I mean, you couldn't get eggs, but I was in sequins. And literally everybody was like, what are you doing? I go, guess what? When I walk out of the pandemic, I'm going to be fucking feeling amazing and looking fabulous. And I'm going to be exactly the same. While you've let yourself go, you've thought that the world's come to an end. Now you're going to walk out like a completely different person, lost and trying to catch up, where I've maintained myself and I'm keeping my routine. Do you know what I mean? I walked out of pandemic looking exactly the same. I was fine.
Yeah.
It's just that mentality of like, taking charge and making that little bit of effort. So if you love doing your makeup, I would wake up 10 minutes earlier. Just make sure you have a little bit of time to get that shower and makeup in. Get the, the walk, just one walk around, just one lap around the block. I'm not saying to do 2 miles, do one lap around the block, and you promise you it will add on. Because when you start to feel good, when you start to look good, when you start seeing those minimal changes, which with exercise, as soon as somebody sees a little change, then they're addicted and obsessed. Right. Because it's like, that's what you need to see. So when you start looking like yourself again, like when you start getting dressed and looking cute, you're going to want to go out a little bit more. Like, it's funny what that looking good does for you. So I'm always like those little tiny steps, like go for that one lap around the block, do 1 minute of gratefulness, get dressed in whatever you can, just get out of those dirty clothes, put some gold hoops in, something that's fun to you. Do you know what I mean? Use that little bit of positive self-talk. I really do remind myself daily that I'm smart and capable and strong. Like I really do. I look in the mirror every day, like, do not forget who the fuck you are. You know what I mean? Before life took you down,
Yes.
you were pretty badass. So let's bring her back. You know what I mean?
What do you do when you have moments? Cause I know you do, cause you're human like
Yes.
me. And
Yes.
you do when you do have the moments of like, cause so I can feel amazing all day long. And then somehow my body reminds me that I am 51, like something like I feel
Oh
my
God,
knee
the bulging
or
discs.
yeah, my back hurts if I sit too long,
Yes.
or like my skin gets, if I spray tan now, it goes into brown spots. It's like
Me
not,
too.
it's
Yeah.
just changed. So when you get those negative thoughts, like what do you do? Cause do you ever spiral at all? Do you go to, I need to fix that? How do you talk yourself out of it? What is the process?
You
that
know,
go
I
through?
really do. Like the last 2 days, I'll be brutally honest. It's been a shit show here. Like we've had a lot. We've been really overwhelmed with work. I had to, this weekend was very emotional personally with a friend who's going, through something horrible. My mom calls me every day with horrible, it's like the last 2 days for whatever reason I feel frustrated. I feel angry. I'm not walking around with a pep in my step. Like I want to get things done. I'm not my best self. Like I can see myself snapping a bit. And truly it was like, what I genuinely do, I remind myself that no one's coming to save me. I genuinely, like, there is no knight in shining armor that's going to knock on your door and save you. No one's coming. No one's coming. Like, I'm the first person to let you know, no one's coming. So when you walk past that mirror, genuinely, that's your knight in shining armor. That reflection in the mirror that you see for yourself, that's the knight in shining armor that's coming to save you. So how do you want your knight in shining armor to look? Do you want them to be a hot mess that's disheveled and angry and sad and depressed? Or do you want to look in the mirror and see a fucking hot, badass bitch that's coming to save you? I'm like, yeah. So it's reminding myself, looking in the mirror and being like, okay, that's your superhero. That's your knight in shining armor. What are you going to do about it? Because no one's coming to save you. So I will literally sit and be like, okay, I give myself a deadline, genuinely. I think you should feel what you're feeling. I'm never about shoving down your emotions or feelings.
Yeah.
I think women are always shut up and I hate it. I'm about feeling it, taking a day or two, and then having a deadline and knowing you have a choice and you can either let yourself spiral or you can make the effort to get back up and make that choice. Because again, the power that we have is in the choice, right? So we have that power. So I literally will be like today was my day. I'm done. Like I got to move on.
Yeah.
I got to let it go. I don't like feeling like this. It's not fun. And you got to just decide and put a smile on your face. Unfortunately, it's like we are powerful that way. We just don't use it.
So I'm hearing it that it's really a decision. It's just it's not that you don't have those thoughts, but you're choosing to interrupt it with something else.
Exactly.
Who do you surround yourself with? Because this is another question I'm curious about with you, because I find that community and friends and people that we let into our world are very important to us.
Yep.
So I'm wondering, like, are your friends, is your network, do you have the negative people in your life, or do you make sure you're intentional about having people that think like you do? I'm curious about that.
Truly, I think it was interesting because when I was not in a great headspace, the 4.5 years ago, when I was like lost, I looked in the mirror and don't recognize myself. I have to say, I was surrounded by very much what didn't make me happy. Like it's all the moms at school, the gossipy, the looking you up and down. Like it wasn't supportive. It wasn't like, when you're sitting in conversations you're just not interested in, and you're just kind of like just doing like a zombie robot, just doing what you have to do.
Like when we had kids in play groups and then we had to be nice with the moms. And
you're at the park and you're trying to make friends because you're so lonely and desperate. You're like picking women up at the park. And you know what I mean? So it's like, I remember being like, when you're sitting, the company that surrounds you does affect you the same way the music you're listening to, the book you're reading, the show you're watching, you feel something when you're around people and it does say something about you. So I'm always like, you're with the bitchy friend, like be careful because that's what you're surrounding yourself with. And that's what people are going to associate you with. So for me, I'm like, when I started really I am like kind of hardcore in that way. I very much have boundaries. Like if you don't make me feel seen, heard, loved, and respected in your presence, like not interested, to be honest with you. Like life's too short. I don't have time. I'm very much here to I want to make sure everyone feels loved and seen in my presence. So if you don't afford me that same respect, then we're probably not going to be friends. And if you don't really tell me anything personal, you're probably not going to be friends. Like I'm very about going deep. I want to have real conversations. And I want to know you're doing things. Like I talk with Monica, like we're talking business, like we're talking what's the next deal and like launching and like what's purposeful. Like we talk about things, not people. Like we talk about dreams. We're not gossiping ever. I never hear them talking shit about anyone. Like we're all just talking, So again, I think it is really important from family all the way to friends. Like I don't speak to my sister. That's the truth. We haven't spoken. It is a very negative and unhealthy relationship that I had to say, this isn't good for my mental health. So I will do it with a family member and I will do it with a friend because my mental health is more important than anything else.
I'm fully aligned with you on that. And I think people really attack me when I say things like that. I've had
Really?
that because
Sorry.
I think, and it's fine. And I'm gonna share, I really stand strong on
Please.
it. Just because somebody is our blood relative attached to us doesn't mean that they have to be we can love them as our family or whatever.
You can
it
have
doesn't mean that
respect.
yes, but it doesn't have to be someone that's in our life daily if it's not serving. Well, if it's
No,
not helping, just because
I agree with you 100. I'm sorry. Anyone can come after me. I agree with you 100. No one gets the right to treat you like shit or make you feel less than, or anyone has more power over you, whether they're family, their blood, they're a friend. I don't care who you are. If you don't show me respect and kindness and make me feel good, then we're not going to hang out. That's just the bottom line.
I'm with you. And I think this is really hard for women because I think honestly, this opens up some wounds because a lot of women, I think what's going on is maybe they have this with their husband or they have this with this is very real, or a friend they've had for 30 years and they don't know how to separate. But I think it's really important to start evaluating, looking at that because this is your life. This is your life. And this is your second chapter. This is like how do
you get one shot, right?
And
you get one shot
weighing on you. This is something.
And if you're not happy, you really have to it's hard. It's scary. I get it. Like, I understand that it is scary. I have friends going through divorces. I have, I see it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what's scarier to me? Staying in the same situation and being miserable and waking up at 84, realizing I had a choice and I didn't take it. That to me is scarier.
Yes. I mean, I can speak on this topic, I think, because I'm married to my second husband. My first was my practice husband. And I remember that moment of thinking, should I stay because we made the commitment? Should we stay? And I have a daughter,
and the guilt, right? The guilt.
But I will say, fast forward, him and I are very close still. We're not married.
Amazing.
I met my now husband. I'm very close with his wife. Like it's like
amazing.
We've made this so that you can, when you actually walk through the pain of what's not serving, there's usually something better on the other side.
Agreed. Good for you. That is that is a great example. And I agree with you. I think it is positive. I have a lot of friends who have very good relationships and show love and respect, because at the end of the day, it's acknowledging that this maybe isn't serving both of us. And we're both supposed to be happy. I always say your kids are supposed to be happy, your husband's, but like you're supposed to be happy too. Like I always add that too at the bottom, because women really do sacrifice all of themselves for their husband and and kids. And then all of a sudden the kids leave and the husband's still doing whatever the hell he wants, looking fabulous. And you don't recognize yourself. You're lost. You don't feel smart. You don't feel capable. You don't have anything to do. You're not a mom anymore. So you feel like you don't know what your direction is, what your role is anymore. Like you feel like you don't have purpose. That is a really scary place to be.
For sure.
We got to stop that. We need to nip this in the bud.
Now, when I watch your videos, and ladies, you've got to watch her social media, because she is my pep talk every day. You're like the first account I go to every day now, because she looks in the thing and she's like, I'm 51 and we're 51 and we're wearing whatever the heck we want today.
Yep.
Like you are literally like the pep talk every morning. I get so excited to see what you're going to post.
Oh, I love you.
But it's so good. Were you ever in your head around that? Were you ever scared to post that type of stuff? How did you get that confidence to go, okay, I'm just going to say it how it is. And if they like it, they like it. And if they don't, they don't.
It's true. Cause I think when you do start, there always is, backlash and things. It's scary to get negative comments. It's scary, cause at the end of the day, we're good people. I'm not here to like make fun of anyone or to make anyone uncomfortable. Like I really am here just to support and just give a gentle reminder that like, there is, so when you start hearing, when there's negative and stuff, it's all hard. Like it is hard. It definitely doesn't feel good when you hear things or someone tells you whatever insult they want to tell you. But I realized I kind of honestly took a beat, because there wasn't, something that somebody said. And I remember being upset and I was like, at the end of the day, happy people don't hurt happy people.
That's right.
Right. It's as simple as like the, Legally Blonde, that point when she said that the girl couldn't have possibly killed him because she's happy. Like there's no way. And there is something about hurt people. That's just the reality of it. And when you're happy, I have no intention. I'm not thinking, I'm not looking at anyone. I'm not obsessing on what anyone's doing. When you have purpose, you're busy and you've got your shit going on. You're not worried about what anybody else is doing. So you kind of realize where that hurt and that negative is coming from. So I'm kind of like, if I can help one person, if I can put myself out there, I'm comfortable. Like I'm okay with it. Like I've always had a thick skin. Yes. I think growing up, Latino, you're a little different, the culture, this, there was always a little bit of having to have a little bit of that thicker skin. So I have been on camera and I've been on TV where I can, I feel a little more comfortable in that sense. Yeah. So, but It's never easy to hear negative. I would be lying if I said, oh, it's just, oh, I don't care. Nobody wants to hear that. But I do try to remember, God, what place do you have to be in, honestly,
Yeah.
to be, you know what I mean, commenting or whatever. So I kind of realized, again, if I just put it out there, if I say it first, you can't gossip about it. Like, you
That's
can't.
true. And what I love about you and your content, because I love original accounts. Like, so, and I'm guilty too. Every now and then I'll do a trend because I think it's funny or whatever. But
Yeah,
what I
totally.
love is that you are really just speaking from your heart, what's on your mind, and you're sharing. And I think that's what makes your stuff so appealing. I think it gets damaging when women are just fully randomly scrolling and thinking that they have to now create something to match that or whatever, because that's that comparison thing. So I'm
Yes.
curious, like your social media habits, just in general, like, are you a scroller? Are you intentional? Like, how do you keep it as a positive place for your
Yeah.
outlet and to share without it sucking you in?
Right. I would say honestly, so sorry, the phone is ringing. I hope you don't hear that. I would say honestly, so I will scroll. I don't follow accounts of like, I don't follow big influencers. Like I don't follow, super unattainable things like that. To me, I have no interest in watching people wearing Valentino crossing the
Right.
street. Like to me, it's a little bit like, I don't like the filters. I
Yeah.
don't like the show off like that. To me, I
Me
actually
either.
really like very normal people. I follow more like normal moms,
Yes.
normal, accounts like you, like fitness and health and things that are people talking about intelligent things. Like I'm definitely not scrolling, watching TikTok dances. Like I
Yeah.
am very intentional. I do believe social media was meant to learn something, right? It's supposed to be there to help and teach and community. So I'm like, I usually spend a lot of my time responding. I spend most of my time
That's
reading the
great.
DMs and responding because for me, I love the community. That's what I love. Like
It's for you. You're getting something out of that too.
I
You like
am. It's
reaching
like,
and talking to
I
people.
really do. I love that. And then for, all the content and stuff, it's like I try to be as authentic and real as
Mhm.
possible. I know that people want to kind of see the clothes. I know there's people who want to see clothes.
Well,
I
you
know
got
people
great
who need
style,
that
so
pep.
you do.
Well, thank you. I
That's a
mean, and I
given.
love it. Like that's my
You-
stuff that like, I love getting dressed. Like I can't
Yeah.
wait to pick out an outfit. Like I think it's so fun. Even if I'm doing nothing, it puts a smile. Like, look at me. I'm
I know, you're
smiling
great.
this bit
It's
talking about
great.
it.
And I love, that's your content every day. I mean, you probably don't get stuck because you get dressed into something fabulous and then you just give everyone a little pep talk about it and you share
Yeah,
it.
it's like we get
And
up, it's like I kind of found my routine and my, like how to make
yeah.
it work that I'm not sitting and scrolling. Yes, there's definitely days where, you want to get inspired too. I'm sure you just, like where
Mhm.
you are creating content and you want to hear music and you want to find, the different, like, like I do too.
For
Like there might be
sure.
something that's fun and funny. But I think at the end of the day, I personally love the no filters, the
Yes.
real, the seeing people at home dealing with real situations, things that I can actually relate to is what I personally like to watch.
That makes sense. Yeah. And I will say that most videos that do well on social are actually not trends. People just happen to see the trends, but like the ones that really actually reach people and make a difference are the ones that are just coming from the heart and are an actual real give and a share versus just like doing a silly
Agreed.
dance or a trend or something like that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather have add
Yes.
value in some way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is your goal for midlife women? Like, what would you, if you could just like wave a magic wand and what do you want them to know? What would you love to see changing with midlife women?
I would love to see, first of all, I'm like, I want to see women happy. And that's just genuine, whatever that really means to you, because I do think happiness and success has a very different definition to all of
Yeah.
us. And it's really understanding, like to me, I feel like I've won the lot. Like I feel I'm not making 10 million. I'm not living on a yacht. I'm not hanging out with Jay-Z on, in Saint Tropez. But I was like, but I feel so successful because
Yes.
I feel happy every day, because I feel
Yeah.
content every day. And I just want to bring back women feeling happy in their normal lives. Cause I think we've normalized unhappiness. I think we've normalized women
Really
hating their
have.
husbands, hating their lives. We all make jokes like, I hate him. I want to get to like, and everything's become kind of miserable. And I
Mm.
just would love to bring happy back. I would love to bring positivity and women feeling empowered, women feeling like they can change, they can pivot. I want you to know like there's no age limit and no time
Mm.
limit to happiness. Like there just isn't. And that the fact that if you're feeling in any way lost or bored or not like your best self, that there is an option for you. Like
That's
you
so
can
good.
get back up and you can, you can change and you can literally live your second best half. Like you really can.
Yes.
So it's
Oh, I
really
love
just
that.
reminding women that you do have power and a voice and a choice.
So I think I realized recently that we're the first generation that we're told that we could have it all. And I think this is what
Yeah.
created part of the problem. If you think about it, like we were the first latchkey kids that were told
Yeah.
you could be a mom, you could have a job, you could look fabulous, like you could do all these things. And then what
Yeah.
that did was, yes, that opened up doors for us, but it also put us into this comparison mode. And I think that's part of the spiral happening at our age right now, because we're like, okay, well, we were told we can have all these things. And now do I not have enough? It's like still this
Well,
like
my
lack
mom, my
mindset.
mom, my mom thinks that we all screwed ourselves. She's like, who thought that you should be working and taking care of everybody? She was like, literally, she was like,
We kinda did.
feminism. Like she was like
Yeah.
laughing because she was like, I just had to cook dinner. I don't know why you've made yourself like have to have
Why did we do
15
that?
jobs. Right.
Yeah.
It was just kind of funny, but I was like, it's so true. Like we've opened this door.
Yeah.
Now women are making just, working just as much as men, or are you seeing more women working and the men are at home? Like you see these
Totally.
change of dynamics. And what's funny is the ones, and I'm going to tell you this genuinely, because I think this is something
Mhm.
that women don't realize. We are so used to these very specific social roles, and we're not all happy doing them.
That's
And I
right.
realize like some men aren't even happy doing their role. And I realize like John loves to cook. Like John doesn't mind doing the cooking and all the
That's
stuff. Like
amazing.
where, I have a lot of friends that the women are actually the most powerful ones, like are the ones with the
Yep.
big jobs, and the husbands are more like, photographer, this or that, like
Yes.
important, great jobs, but they're not, it isn't, the wife is really more that pivotal
I
point.
get
And the
it.
husbands, my husband goes to pick up, drop off, like where I'm the one working, filming events, doing
Uh-huh.
things, but it works for us. And I don't think 10 years ago, I don't even think that I would have thought that was an option. Like John was so stressed out at work, like working like a savage, but was he really happy? I don't know. And
Wow.
right now he is happier. Like it's weird. It's funny. Sometimes our specific roles aren't necessarily fulfilling to all of us. And it's okay for you to change the dynamics so that it does work for you. Because I think a lot of marriages would be a lot happier if you were just honest with each other about what makes you happy and what your roles could be, because it doesn't have to be the typical role. Like you like to work,
so good.
go work.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that you described it sort of as a happy filter though, too, that you had this conversation about like, let's put this filter of like what makes us happy. I did
Yeah.
that recent thing with my husband. We didn't call it a happy filter, but we had a talk on our anniversary about like,
Yeah.
hey, what we just asked each other, like our vision, like if nothing was a worry, like if there was no financial issue or whatever, like what would you want in the next
Yeah.
year? Like, where would you
Yeah.
want to go? What would you want to do? And it was interesting to hear like what he wanted, like what his dream was. I didn't even actually know. But to hear,
Right.
to see how he lit up about it. And it's like, it made me want to help him achieve that. And
Yes,
same
exactly.
same other way around. And I think, are we having those conversations enough with people in our
We're not.
lives? I don't think
We're not. We're not. And I think a lot of men and women, a lot of marriages are married for 20 years and the other one doesn't even know what the one actually wants to be doing. Like
That's
for
right.
real, we all just get married. Everyone's rushing to get married and have kids. Everyone's rushing to the end. I have no idea why. I'm like, travel, make money, know who
Yes.
you are, date. Like, are you crazy? Like marriage
Have
and kids are
fun.
hard. Like have fun. And then when you actually know who you are and you can have real conversations and you actually have real communication, that's how a marriage works. It does not work by, you know what I mean? Because he makes you stressed out and you think it's butterflies in your stomach and you think it's, passion is not love and passion is not long lasting. It's just not.
That's so true.
So it's like when you can really have these conversations, like John and I, like we've had some brutal conversations but we're stronger for it because now we actually are working from the truth rather than both of us living a lie.
Now, how does your husband feel about you being so public online and sharing all the things? Does he love it? Does he think it's
He
like,
loves it.
He's
He's fine. Yeah. Like there's once in a blue moon where he'll be like, oh God, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, did he really say that or do it? But it's funny. He doesn't care about me being in my bra and underwear. He doesn't care. Like, he's like, that's the one thing he has always said to me. Like, I want you to be happy, whatever that means. Like, I want you to be happy. And like, for me, this makes me happy. So he's happy. So it's like,
That's
at the end of the
amazing.
day, it's about wanting to see each other happy and winning, right? Like you said, you wanted to help him.
Yeah.
This is where he felt like, I want to help you like this. I know you're happy. So how can I help?
That's so good. Okay. Tell us about the jewelry. Cause if you're listening on audio, you don't see on YouTube right now, but she is known for her bangles and her necklaces. And you said you feel naked without them. Is that always been a thing? Is this a new thing? Do you just collect them? Tell us about that.
So jewels, I have always been a jewelry and a handbag girl. So I don't really care as much about the clothes, which is funny. Like I could find killer outfit at Target and be perfectly happy. Okay. Like you know what I mean? But I like the jewels, I'll be honest. And I love handbags. So with the jewelry, I always have worn, my dad's Cuban, so he wears the gold chains, you know, and charms. And like my mom always was with the red lipstick covered in jewels. And it's funny, I've always loved jewelry. Like there's a photo of me, I think when I'm like 5 years old, and I had a ring on every single finger,
Oh my
not
gosh.
joking.
You
So
still do.
100% born this way. Yeah, look at this.
You still-
Like, but I also became, yes, has a little bit more added on for sure. Is this extreme? Without a doubt. But I just love it. And it just makes me happy.
Do you sleep with it all? Do you
I
work
do.
out with it all? Like it's
I work out, I sleep, I
can't
swim.
even sleep with like my Oura ring. I struggle. I take it off in the middle
Not
of the night.
kidding.
Like,
Everything. Like I woke up like this, not joking, in my
Wow.
bed. And I think you get used to it, honestly.
Okay.
Like I think it's just because then when I have to take everything off for a massage or for something,
you're
luckily.
getting an MRI. You're in there for like
It's
an hour.
oh, the MRI was a joke. I mean, the guy was like, "Can you?" I'm like, "You, this is gonna take a while." And I was like, but the truth at the end of the day, because I know it can be kind of judgy. I know some people think it's too much, you know, or people think
I love
you're
it. I just think comfort. Like I wouldn't
yes,
get it on.
no, but people, I get comments for sure like that. And for me, I'm always like, number one, if I'm too much, absolutely go, please find less. Happy, like feel free. I have no, like, I'm not making you stay, but I think genuinely, it's like, it just makes me happy.
Yeah.
And there's pieces from my mom that make me feel like it makes me feel close to her. There's things that a lot of them have meaning of some things
Yeah.
I've designed and had
It's
made.
like your version of tattoos, honestly.
It
It's
is.
like
I just love it. And it makes me happy. I'm not hurting anybody. You know what I
No.
mean? Like at the end of the day, I think people, it's like, it's not bothering you. I'm
it's
just
your
happy.
thing, and I love it. Yeah,
Thank
it's great.
you. Thank
No,
you.
I absolutely love your. If you're not following her, you have got to go follow her. Are you the same handle on all the platforms? Shop
with Caroline. Yeah.
with Shop with Caroline. You can find her
Shop
there.
with Caroline and then being Caroline on TikTok.
And she is so funny. And she tells you how it is, and she will motivate the heck out of you every morning. You're literally my first thing I look at in the morning. I go,
it means everything.
Like, I got to look at what she posted today. What's she saying? What's she wearing? What's she doing? How's she going to
It means so much, babe. Honestly,
so
like,
good.
you know, truthfully, and I just want women to know, if you don't mind me just saying this at the end, you know, I was a mom sitting on a couch 4.5 years ago, thinking that there was no opportunities for me. Like I thought it was just going to be me going to pick up and drop off and volunteering at school, you know, feeling slightly overweight, blah, blah, blah. Like just kind of like, okay, I guess this is it. Like I remember thinking, I guess this is it. And to be sitting here talking to you on this incredible podcast, you know, having all the opportunities that have been, you know, open to me, like there's, you know, there's things coming up that when I say are just mind blowing to me, like I just can't believe I was sitting on a couch and that I might be sitting on this couch in a few weeks. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where it just shows you anything is possible. You absolutely can make a change. You can learn, you can pivot, you can grow, and you are not stuck. I just want women to know if I can, you can. I can promise you that.
Thank you so much, Caroline. This was
really
amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here. So thank you.